The courtroom doors swung open with a heavy creak, admitting a rush of humid September air from the bustling streets of Washington, D.C. It was September 10th, 2025, and the federal courthouse was a powder keg of tension. Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, the unyielding congresswoman from the Bronx, stood at the defense podium, her red lipstick a bold contrast against the muted grays of the room. She was no stranger to fights, but this one felt different, personal, visceral. Accused of conspiracy to obstruct justice for her relentless campaign to unseal the Epstein files, AOC had chosen to represent herself, turning the trial into a spectacle that drew crowds and cameras alike. Her family sat in the front row, her mother, Blanca, fingers twisted around a faded rosary, whispering prayers in Spanish, her brother Gabriel clenching his fists, his face etched with worry. This wasn't just about her career. It was about the truth buried in shadows and the system desperate to keep it hidden. Judge Harlan Whitaker, a grizzled veteran with ties to old Washington money, peered over his glasses. "Miss Ocasio-Cortez, you've waived your right to counsel. Proceed at your own peril." AOC met his gaze unflinchingly. "Your Honor, I've spent my life fighting for the voiceless. Today I fight for the truth. The Epstein files aren't just documents. They're proof of how power protects itself at the expense of justice." Murmurs rippled through the gallery, a mix of supporters chanting her name and skeptics shaking their heads. The prosecution, led by Assistant U.S. Attorney Elena Vasquez, a sharp, ambitious lawyer with a reputation for no-mercy tactics, smirked from her table. "This is a courtroom, not a campaign rally," Vasquez quipped. Vasquez launched into her opening statement, her voice slicing through the air like a blade. "Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, the defendant, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, abused her position to orchestrate an illegal probe into classified materials. She leaked sensitive information on social media, pressured officials, and incited public chaos, all to fuel her political agenda. We'll prove beyond doubt that her actions crossed the line into criminal territory." She paused for effect, gesturing to a stack of exhibits. "The Epstein files are sealed for a reason: national security. Her meddling endangered lives." AOC scribbled notes furiously, her mind flashing back to that fateful July night in 2025 when she'd first posted on X, "Wow, who would have thought that electing a rapist would complicate the release of the Epstein files?" The backlash had been swift. Threats, smears, and now this trial. "Your Honor," AOC rose as Vasquez finished, "may I deliver my opening?" Whitaker nodded curtly. She turned to the jury, a diverse group of everyday Americans, from teachers to retirees. "This isn't about me. It's about a system that hides the crimes of the elite while punishing those who demand accountability. Jeffrey Epstein's files name powerful people, politicians, CEOs, even those in this very room, who evaded justice. I didn't hack or steal. I fought for transparency, and for that, they're trying to silence me. But truth doesn't bow to power." Blanca wiped a tear, mouthing, "Te quiero, mija." Gabriel nodded encouragingly, remembering their late-night calls where AOC had confided her fears. "What if they win, Gabe? What if the files stay buried forever?" Vasquez called her first witness, FBI Agent Marcus Hale, a stoic man in a dark suit. "Agent Hale, did you investigate leaks from the DOJ regarding the Epstein files?" Vasquez asked. "Yes," Hale replied. "We traced unauthorized access attempts to IP addresses linked to Ms. Ocasio-Cortez's office network." The jury leaned forward, intrigued. AOC objected sharply. "Hearsay, Your Honor. No direct evidence ties me to those attempts." Whitaker sustained it, but AOC pressed on during cross-examination. "Agent Hale, isn't it true that IP spoofing is common in cyber attacks? Could someone have framed my office?" Hale shifted uncomfortably. "It's possible, but unlikely." She produced a report. "Unlikely. This forensic analysis shows the breach occurred during a known GOP-linked cyber incident last July." "Coincidence?" Hale stammered. "I wasn't aware." The jury whispered, doubt seated. Next, Vasquez summoned a surprise witness, former aide Tomas Rivera, who looked uneasy under the oath. "Mister, Rivera, did Ms. Ocasio-Cortez instruct you to contact DOJ insiders about the files? Vasquez prodded. Yes, Tomas admitted. She said, we need those names out, whatever it takes. AOC's heart sank. Tomas had been like a brother, mentored from the streets of Queens. Tomas, she began softly on cross. Did I ever say break the law? He hesitated. No, but the pressure... Pressure from whom? AOC interrupted, sliding forward a photo. This shows you meeting a prosecution informant last week. Were you coerced? Tomas's eyes welled. They threatened my green card renewal. I'm sorry, Alex. The gallery gasped. Vasquez objected furiously, but Whitaker allowed it. Witness is excused. And Miss Vasquez, I expect full disclosure next time. The tension escalated as Vasquez played an audio clip. AOC's voice from a rally. The Epstein files will expose the rot in our government. Incitement, Vasquez declared. AOC countered, free speech, Your Honor. And context matters. This was after Republicans stalled H.R. 4405, the Epstein Files Transparency Act. She called her first witness, whistleblower Elena Santos, a DOJ clerk with trembling hands. Miss Santos, what did you discover in the files? AOC asked. Names, senators, donors, even ties to Trump's administration. They delayed release to protect allies. Vasquez leaped up. Speculation. But AOC produced a redacted memo. Not speculation, evidence. And here's a White House statement defending the delay. The jury's eyes widened. Vasquez grilled Santos. You leaked this. That's a crime. Santos held firm. No, I shared it with Congress. My duty. AOC followed up. Ms. Santos, were you threatened? Yes, anonymous calls, just like AOC's posts warned about. Blanca clutched Gabriel's hand, whispering, she's just like when she was a kid, fighting bullies in the playground. The emotional weight hung heavy. This trial echoed AOC's roots, from bartending to battling billionaires. The climax hit when Vasquez called a star witness, GOP operative Derek Voss. Mr. Voss, did AOC orchestrate hacks? Absolutely. She coordinated with hackers. AOC exploded. Lies! Your Honor, I demand to cross-examine Whitaker allowed it. Mr. Voss, you're on the payroll of a firm tied to Epstein donors, correct? Voss paled. Irrelevant. Relevant, AOC shot back, waving a financial record. And this email from you, frame AOC, delay the files. How do you explain that? Voss stammered. Forged. But the jury saw through it. AOC turned to the court. This isn't justice. It's a witch hunt to silence voices like mine, from the Bronx to the border. Vasquez's case crumbled. In closing, she ranted, she's a radical endangering us all. AOC's rebuttal was electric. Radical? Fighting for victims is radical? The real danger is a system that protects predators. I'm guilty of one thing, believing in justice for all. The jury deliberated for hours. When they returned, the foreman stood. Not guilty on all counts. Cheers erupted. Blanca rushed forward, embracing AOC. Mija, you did it. Gabriel beamed. The Bronx is proud. Outside, AOC addressed the press. This verdict is for every underdog silenced by power. We'll keep pushing. Release the files. Her family flanked her, a symbol of resilience. Months later, the files surfaced, sparking reforms. AOC's story inspired a wave of activists, proving one voice could shatter empires. From the Bronx to the bench, justice prevailed, not because of power, but in spite of it.